What's up, guys? I hope everyone's doing good today. And today is kind of a different video. It's not a guitar tutorial. You know, it's not anything like that. Today is kind of a awareness video on my experiences in 2025, and if I could go back and learn from them, you know, what I would do. So it's a lot of negative things happen to me this year, and you know, it's all about perspective with it. Like, I could be like, oh, life is just a terrible cesspool of terrible things, and honestly sometimes I do feel that way, but you know, let me get to the chase here. All right, I don't want this to be too long of a video. Okay, so essentially that scared the shit out of me, the ice maker. I think I'm a positive guy. I like to have fun, and when I say that doesn't mean I like to sleep around. So we're not going there. I feel like I'm very genuine, and that openness can create a lot of pain because people can manipulate that. But let me get into specifics and stop sounding all poetic here. So I'm not gonna name any names because that's just wrong. But I had 3 heartbreaks this year. I don't know if I already said that. In a row as well, but it's not a scoreboard, you know, it doesn't matter. And what I've learned each time is getting closer with God is actually probably the smartest thing you can do. And you know, heartbreak isn't fun. Heartbreak is its own separate topic. But if I could say, like, the bullet points I want everyone to get, especially men, is 1, if they leave you when you're at your lowest, never get, like, I don't get back with exes. That is ridiculous. I don't think anyone should ever do that. It's a vicious cycle. Don't do it. It's really stupid. So there's that. Never get back with your ex unless you're a dumbass. And the second thing is, you know, like with heartbreak, try to learn something off of it, you know. And I feel like now, especially with men, heartbreak is, oh, I'm not enough. I need to hit the gym more. I need to, like, yeah, it's good to have your own goals. But I'm sure during the relationship, you know, you had your own goals when you were with them. And if when you were with them you didn't have any goals, that's the problem. You're building your life on relationships. It's a key part of life, but you should have your own stuff going on. Now I'm gonna get really specific here, okay? So I had 3 times in a row, essentially they were clocked out by month 3. Some of them stayed alone, but mentally were clocked out for benefits. I won't get into specific on what benefits mean, but I'm an attractive guy. And if a girl tricks me into, you know, me thinking they still love me, there's benefits that come with that. I think we get the point here on what I'm saying with that. So I had 3 situations. 1 was when I went to Florida around month 3. This was a 7-month long relationship. Around month 3, they didn't admit it, but they were not into me besides, you know, okay? And I didn't know that, and I told them, like, I loved them and all that. And they were just capping out of their ass every time they were like, I love you too, right? So when they admitted all that to me, I was like, get the fuck out. Pack your shit, get the fuck out. I've never talked to them again. Actually, no, I had a moment of weakness where I was like, hey, I'm just trying to understand, like, you know, why'd you leave me and stuff? But that's in the past now. And now you should seek forgiveness with everyone, right? That's just how it works. Christianity, Catholicism. But with that, I learned, like, mainly it was kind of that repeated twice, like 2 times again, because it was another relationship that, you know, everything was going good, and then it's like, what the fuck happened? And then that again, essentially. And here's, I'm not saying I cracked the code, but here's things you can kind of tell and how you can get in a good spot. Also, I lost a best friend, and what I realized is he doesn't have my best interest in mind. And I actually feel that his personality changed because of his girlfriend. I really hope he doesn't see this because I'm going to feel like a dick if he does. But I think he's such a coward. Like, I feel like he can't make decisions for himself without going, hey, babe. Like, he doesn't have his own soul. And he used to. And I'm kind of grieving the loss of my friend with that. But he's gone. I'm not hanging out with him again because he's a dickhead now. But anyways, this is like the main part of it. God is your foundation. No matter who you are, if you're Muslim watching this, if you're Jewish watching this, I'm not here to bash other religions, okay? But Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And Jesus and God are the same person. God is Jesus of Nazareth, okay? And what I've learned is obviously refrain from sinning. That just makes you happier in general. But relationships, okay? Let's figure this out. So, things are going great. You're kissing them and all that, right? Here's what it is at its core. Are you friends with them? If they were with a boyfriend or whatever, would you be friends with them? That's what you have to figure out. And this is why when relationships are intense, like, you're dancing with them, going to parties with them and stuff, it can seem like things are really good, but there should be a comfortable calmness. Like, you guys should have days where you're not doing much, just watching TV and stuff. And I had a couple of those. I had a lot of those with the 7-month. And so I guess what I'm saying is contradicting what I'm saying, but it's kind of a gut feeling here, okay? And one thing is just listen to them talk, because sometimes girls, women, whatever, they'll say shit, and as a man, you can let it fly by because of how good things are going. But if someone says something that's ridiculous, yeah, call them out on it, and you should really reflect on that, especially actions and everything people are saying, Like, one girl I was dating, she was like, if I was a guy for a day, I would sleep with tons of women. I should have just walked away right then and there. Like, I'm an idiot. Like, so it's things like that, okay? And so, pardon, what I learned is you can't let people get you down, okay? You got to stay yourself. You got to stay kind. You got to stay polite. And it's the hardest thing to do because, you might feel that everyone is treating you wrong, which that's the way I feel. I feel like a lot of people in life are treating me wrong. And, the only person I feel closest with right now is God. And there's not really a solution because I feel that with my relationships, it has been girls trying to get over their exes or, girls trying to feel better about themselves by using me. And I don't know what to tell you to figure out if that's like what's happening to you. But what I do know is God's going to give you in life, and this is knowledge you need to take into 2026, okay? That's what this video is for. That's why I'm making this. God is going to steer you in the direction you need to be. But at the same time, you need to help God help you. So if you're in a destructive pattern, let's say you're, similar to one of my exes. I don't know their full story, but I'm pretty sure they are constantly using people to get over their, fears of like insecurity or, exes they had. And I'm choosing to be alone when I need to and to grieve the loss of that. And the ones I've dated, they just jump to the next guy immediately. Now I could be like, oh God, I must be ugly and I have no skills and world sucks. That's like what half of men do now. And it's ridiculous. You just need to keep moving, man. Like, you really do. You really do just need to keep moving. And honestly, sometimes that's being totally alone. There's a trail by where my campus is. And when I got dumped hard because there was no reason for it, okay? I just started walking, and I had to get over a lot of bad habits, but it made me a stronger person. And do I wish, that I dated that person? No. I wasted my time. They wasted my time, okay? But you have to learn how to be patient with life, and you have to learn that God is going to steer you in the right direction. But a big tip that I will definitely give you is, this is definitely fucking one of them, okay? If they just got out of a relationship, they are using you as a rebound, no matter what they say. Even if they like you. Why do my eyes look so wide apart? Oh, hi. Okay. They are using you as a rebound, no matter what way they frame it, no matter how it may seem, they're using you as a rebound. And in a couple of months or 3 months, they're going to leave you. Now, if you're like, I don't want to be used as a rebound, no matter what you say, that's not going to change my mind. That's how I feel you're being to me. And then you're friends with them for like 3 to 4 months, and then, it seems like a natural relationship, then yes. But one of the main things that I wish I learned is don't even go into life seeking a relationship. Because that, like, you should be okay with being alone, But if you make friends with people you find attractive, and then, you're really patient about it, you're not a horn dog, and you're not like, I need fucking, and you're really patient, and you're kind, and you're yourself, you don't fake a personality, and you meet someone and you're friends with them for maybe a month, 2 months, you don't rush anything, that's more likelihood for a long-lasting relationship. Me personally, I date to marry, okay? And there's Greek life out there, and I think maybe, I don't want to diss anyone, okay? But I think with Greek life, a majority of it is people trying to hook up with each other. I don't, in my head, don't tolerate that. I never like that. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's bad for the soul. Let me wrap this up. I apologize, guys. But what you can do moving forward in 2026, don't rush into anything relationship-wise. This is more advice for myself, but I think it could help others out there. Don't rush into anything. Don't date anyone who just got out of a relationship, no matter how, magical it may seem with them. Focus on yourself before you focus on others, and don't be afraid to lose people who are treating you like dirt. You are not the equivalent of a doormat, okay? Even if, you think that your life borders on them, it doesn't, okay? Because I had 3 heartbreaks this year, and I lost my best friend. I'm doing fine. I'm not just saying that. I am doing fine. You can be doing fine as well. It's about the way you frame your mind. Now, if Jesus wasn't in my life, I wouldn't be doing fine, and I know that. So that's my advice. Be patient with life. Be patient with relationships. Be patient with yourself, with healing. And, a lot of people don't let themselves heal. They just move on to the next exciting thing in life, trying to distract themselves. And then what happens is sometimes it takes a while, People can love hookup culture or love messing with others. Because, I personally, I got manipulated. If they were to say, I'm not looking for a relationship, I'm just looking for a fling, I could have been like, I'm not into that, goodbye. But in their head, that's what they were looking for. But they led a persona of, hey, this is going to be a long-lasting relationship. And I know that, okay? I know that. But my advice, be patient with yourself, be patient with others, forgive others, and don't rush into anything relationship-wise. It's going to feel natural if you're not rushing into it and you would have been friends with them before. Even if it was brief. You have to appreciate the person before you can appreciate the person's body, okay? That's what I'm getting at. All right, I made mistakes, and I know that. What happened was I was with people getting over their exes or getting over, I'm really not trying to jab at anyone. I hope no one finds this channel that is one of my exes, but getting over people whose fathers weren't present in their life, or maybe they just don't know what they want. That's a personality type. It is. And, they figure that out later on in the relationship. And it's unfortunate, but with my situation, the person, I'm seeking 3 apologies right now. I am owed 3 apologies that are never going to be given to me. And I can either hold on to that and be like, no, they need to apologize. Or I can keep moving forward in life and I can be like, God has my back. And God does have my back. And God has your back in 2026 and every year past that. So go into this year with a smile. You are going to have a great year. I love you all. Bye.